Bring this meeting to order. George, can you take roll?
Colonel Evans?
Here.
Mr. Grozan?
Here.
Mrs. Ludwig?
Here.
Mr. Miko?
Here.
Mr. Naso?
Here.
All present.
Stand for the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is the part of the meeting where we talk about our district goals. We have 3 goals, and everything on this agenda reflects that. The first one is student achievement, and that's our main goal, and it's supported by financial prudence, which we balance against, and with our taxpayer funds, how do we drive student achievement to the highest possible levels that we can? And then our third goal is community involvement, and we use the community to support us, to help us in both of those 2 previous goals. So they all work together and they're all important, and everything that we do on this agenda tonight and every night reflects those 3 goals. With that, we'll move on to recognition. Cameron?
Thank you, Mr. Naso. We have a number of recognitions this evening. This meeting is always an exciting one for us to recognize our retirees, our SEAC winners, and some other special folks. And we're going to start off with Mr. Mark Smithberger, Strongsville High School principal, who is going to start us off with our first recognition tonight.
Good evening, members of the school board and Mr. Rob and Mrs. Pelko. Thank you for having us. Tonight, I'm here to talk about Miss Jan Chapman. If you come forward, Jan. Yes. You come up here? Yes. Jan is a really instrumental member of our community. She's the teen librarian at the Strongsville Library. And one of the things we try to do as a school, certainly at the high school, is create community relationships and contacts so our students have not just the life experience at the high school, but outside of the high school as well. And we think of the axiom, it takes a village to raise a child. And so we try to involve people from all levels of the community, and Jan has been instrumental for us at the high school. So on behalf of the English department, I want to recognize Jan this evening. I want to read what Department Chair Carol McKnight wrote about Jan. As the teen librarian at Strongsville Public Library, Jan Chapman has been an integral part of our language arts department at SHS. Jan coordinated with our teachers to start an after-school book club, and she attended several of the department meetings to share new books that would be of high interest to all of our students. In fact, based on Jan's recommendation, we've incorporated the book, Sugar Changed the World, as a cross-curricular read. Jan has coordinated summer reading sessions at the library, allowing our 9th and 10th grade honors students an opportunity to discuss their books in a large group setting. One of the most important connections that Jan has made with our students is through her involvement with the developmental literacy class. That is a class our students take who have literacy issues and read at below grade level. Jan welcomed our students on a field trip to the library. For many of these students, it was their first time they had ever been in a library, and Jan made sure that each of them left with access to a library card. I think that's by law, she makes you get library cards. She made literacy interesting and accessible for these students by sharing her personal reading stories, attending book chats, and by helping them write their own personal narratives. Once students had written about their personal journeys, she graciously came back to school and listened to our students read aloud. She provided a welcoming environment for our students to grow and learn. Jan is an invaluable asset to our teachers, our school, and our community, and we look forward to continuing our association with Jan and the Strongsville Public Library. Jan, on behalf of the English department and the high school, congratulations and thank you for all you do for us. We really appreciate it. Yeah, run the gauntlet now, Jan. You got to shake their hands.
Thank you, Jim.
Next, we have Mr. Andy Trujillo, Director of Special Education, and joined by Teresa Karsneck, our parent mentor. to hand out this year's Outstanding Educator Awards.
Good evening, members of the board, Strongsville staff, Strongsville community. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. And like Mr. Ribas said, I'm joined here today by Teresa Karsnack, our parent mentor. This is truly an esteemed list of folks that are being recognized this evening for the Special Education Outstanding Educator Award that's sponsored through our Special Education Advisory Council. These are folks that work with students with a disability who go above and beyond what the expectation of their job description is. They are shown to be caring, serving, and truly make a positive impact and difference in the lives of students. I'd like to recognize, too, the folks that nominated these people because they took time out of their day, took the energy and had the vision to say, I need to recognize this person that works with my child or works with one of the students I collaborate with. So I'd like to thank those people that are out there. First this evening we have Cheryl Bezub. She is our transition coordinator and was nominated by Mark Smithberger, the principal at Strongsville High School. Mr. Smithberger wrote, Cheryl's work and her roles in transition coordinator and department chair have inspired the lives of every student with a disability at Strongsville High School. She is a wealth of knowledge and is kind to everyone she encounters. Because of her efforts and leadership, she is always looking for ways to improve the way students are served at Strongsville High School. Cheryl is a reason Strongsville High School is a great place for kids. Great job, Cheryl. Come this way.
Thank you, Sharon.
Next, we have Sue Herb, special education aide at Sarrar Elementary. She was nominated by Kelly Carell and Kim Weirs, fourth grade teachers at Sarrar, and this is what they had to say about Sue as she makes her long journey up to the stage. Sue is the best. Her work ethic is outstanding. She is reliable, prepared, proactive, and dedicated, just to name a few traits. She will meet the teachers to find out which concepts will be taught in the classroom so she can have all the problems and answers worked out before she works with the students. She provides alternative strategies to make visuals for kids when they are struggling, as well as communicating with the intervention specialists and general education teachers. She plays a huge role in our classroom. Kids like working with her and respect her. She's an outstanding educator. Thank you so much, Sue, for what you do for our kids.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thanks a lot.
Next this evening, we have Jana Karnakolis, intervention specialist from Kinsner Elementary. She was, come on up, Jana. She was nominated by parent Jessica Barlinski. This is what she had to say about Jana. Jana came into my son's life when he entered third grade and blew me away from the start. She set up a meeting with my son and I to simply get to know us before school even started. I felt her loving approach to my child right away, and she had such a quick connection to Kay, as he calls her. Her communications was beyond expectations from the beginning. She brought tears to my eyes on test days when she would send me a picture of my son working hard with the caption, "I am doing great, Mom." Jana takes parent-teacher collaboration to a higher level. I feel more involved in my son's IEP than ever. Jana is not just an intervention specialist, she's an angel from above.
Now I can say I'm touched by an angel. Thank you.
Next, we have Teresa Karsnack, parent mentor for Strongsville City Schools. She was nominated by Chris and Mike Kamer, parents in our school system. They said this about Teresa. She has been a God-sent Teresa has been God-sent to our family. She has walked us through the 504 IEP process and offered her unending support, guidance, encouragement, and willingness to help us through this stressful path. She continues to mentor us through this process with patience, empathy, and perseverance. She has touched and enriched the lives of our child as well as others, particularly those that are vulnerable or less able to help themselves. We are incredibly grateful to her, and it is our continued privilege to have her assistance. Congratulations, Teresa.
Thank you for everything. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There's nobody to hand Teresa her certificate. We'll cover that in a minute. Next, we have Peggy Kometz, speech language pathologist at Chapman Elementary. Come on up, Peggy. Peggy was nominated by parent Nicole Sisler, and this is what she had to say about Peggy. Mrs. Kometz is a popular speech therapist at our school. She spends time on the younger grades, and all the children really enjoy her visits. She always has fun activities planned and makes each child feel welcomed and good about who they are. She helps students gain confidence, feel good, and know everyone has value and important things to say. Mrs. Kometz is a wonderful example of the type of educator our school needs more of. Mrs. Kometz sits on many committees for the district and can be seen frequently volunteering at community events. My children are always so excited to see her out in the community, and I know other kids feel the same. Congratulations, Peggy.
Thank you so much for everything. Thank you. Congratulations.
Next, we have intervention specialist Kim Orr at the high school, nominated by a teacher at the high school, Carol McKnight. Come on up, Kim. Carol McKnight had this to say about Kim. Kim Orr goes out of her way to provide a positive experience for students in her co-taught classes. She takes it upon herself to develop lessons that can reach each student based on their own needs and abilities. She broke down our senior research paper so that students with reading and writing challenges could experience success. She goes out of her way to know students and to develop a relationship of trust and honesty. Thank you, Kim, for so much.
Thank you so much for everything. Congratulations.
Next, we have Judy Stacco, special education aide, nominated by parent Grant Rose. And I don't think Judy was able to join us this evening, but this is what Ms. Rose had to say about Judy. Judy always makes sure our son is getting what he needs to succeed. He is better today because of her involvement. Judy has been an aide with our son since 9th grade, and each day she is there to help and guide him. Thank you, Judy, for what you do for all the kids in Strongsville. Last but not least, we have Ann Walls, intervention specialist at Strongsville High School. Come on up, Ann. Ann was nominated this evening by parent Pam Waldenbaugh and student Serena McGregor at the high school. For 4 years, Ann has been my go-to teacher for absolutely everything I ever needed help with for my daughter. She has been there not only academically, but in the event of an emotional adjustment, meltdown, or difficulty with a friend. She modifies and adjusts math to suit my daughter's strengths so she can understand it and move on to the next concept. Ann goes above and beyond the requirements and expectations of a great teacher. She's the best. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
In closing, I'll just mention that this is a true pleasure for me because I know these people. I know these words I read are true statements. These are awesome folks that we are grateful to have, not only in our school district, but working with some of our students with disabilities that need the best every day. So thank you for that. And yeah, thanks. Have another round of applause for them. Thank you. Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa, and thank you, Andy. And once again, on behalf of the board and all of our administration, congratulations to all of our winners. I've been here for a lot of years, and I know some of you won't admit it, but I've seen you walk across this stage to win that honor multiple times, and I think that whether it's your first time, second, or more, it's just a true testament to what you do for our kids each and every day, so thank you very much. At this time, it's a happy time for some, but sad for our district as it's time we start to say goodbye to some of our employees that have decided to submit their letter of retirement. So I'm going to turn it over to our Assistant Superintendent, Jenny Pelko, to recognize those retirees that are in attendance tonight.
Thank you, Cameron. Good evening, members of the board. Good evening, everybody. It is an exciting time. I know that some of our retirees really struggled with this decision. They, are so dedicated to our district, and many have been here for many, many years and dedicated essentially their whole life here. So certainly appreciate all they have done, and we're looking forward to recognizing them this evening. So with that, I'd like to call up Ray Alexander. I'm also going to ask Ian to come up. Yeah. I'm going to have you stand here. Ray has been teaching physical education in the district for the last 12 years at Strongsville High School and Muraski Elementary. She always made the class of physical education a class with meaning and developing the love of fitness among her students. She constantly pushed for wellness among students and staff, and as she retires, she actually will still be with us running the Girls on the Run program at Muraski and continuing to support the growth and development of the mind and soul. Ray is always smiling, always flexible. She is someone you can lean on and count on at any moment. We always look forward to her ending the year with Field Day, and all the prep and organization that goes into that is really appreciated. It will be hard to fill her shoes, and she's a hard act to follow for sure. Ray, we wish you all the best in your retirement. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for everything. Congratulations.
Peter Lamberty. Pete began teaching Spanish in 2000 at Strongsville High School. He has been there now teaching for 17 years, either Spanish or social studies. And I knew I liked you, Pete, when you joined the Spanish department when I was still teaching there. And in my non-controlling nature, I told him how we plan, how we work together, and basically how we run things. To which Pete replied, "That sounds good, whatever you want to do." He is just a genuinely nice guy. He believes in kids, he believes in second chances and growing their love of language. He also believes in getting to know students and their personal interests. And actually, numerous students have even gone on to want to become pilots, as Pete has also shared his love of aviation with them. Wishing you all the best, and I'm sure Laura is right behind you.
Thank you for everything, sir. More time for flying.
Elizabeth Reese. Beth Reese has taught home economics and then transitioned to family consumer science for the last 30.5 years. She has taught 30 years at Center Middle School and then half at Strongsville Middle School, and I was fortunate enough to be Beth's principal for some of those years. Beth liked order and organization in her classroom, but always allowed students to show their creativity and bring their own style to their cooking, with their cupcake or sandwich wars, or with their pillow projects where they actually could bring in their own t-shirts to use. Beth's classroom was always so inviting, as she often invited the staff to be guest judges and taste test those final products. She even attracted one time an uninvited guest as she entered a room and encountered a raccoon coming out of your cabinet. And she stayed calm, and everything was fine, as typical of Beth.
Just to clarify, that was at the old middle school.
That was, not here, not here. That is true. Beth, we appreciate all that you have done and all the service to our district, and wish you very many adventures camping with Tim here, and enjoy it.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Michael Sack. Mike has taught social studies in Strongsville for the last 15 years. He has also served students as a coach for cross country at Center Middle School. He has also been a co-advisor of the new Student Buddy program. He began the high school social studies honorarium Rho Kappa, where he also co-advised. He has been helpful with academic challenge as well. And he also was an inaugural teacher of AP Human Geography, which brought AP courses to the sophomore class. Every time I see Mike, he is smiling and he's full of life. He has always looked for solutions and has been an advocate for all students. I wish you all the best that retirement has to offer, Mike.
Thank you for everything, sir.
Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Bridget Sproul. Bridget has been with the district since way back in 1987 when she began teaching math and chemistry at Strongsville High School. For the last 30 years, Bridget has had a positive impact on not only students but staff as well. She is willing to tutor students and stay after and support students to learn math, which can be a difficult subject matter. I know this firsthand because she supported me as my Algebra 2 trig teacher. And you even allowed me to drop pre-calc because you knew I hit my limit. That was enough. Thank you. Thank you for that. Bridget acts as the heart of an organization, and she just loves people. She notices the little things that matter, like birthdays and new outfits. Thank you for your dedication to this district and to our many students. You will be missed.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Patricia Thompson. Patty began teaching with us her career in Strongsville in 1996. Over the last 21 years, she has taught both 3rd and 4th grade. According to Tina Peters, her current principal, Patty has always been solid as a rock. She is the teacher you can count on, the teacher that is the go-to for everyone. She has always been reliable and dependable. Patty is the teacher that you wanted your own children to have. She made a difference in many children's lives. You were the top 10 in their book and in her book, and I'm sure many, many others throughout the years. Congratulations, Patty, and best of luck in retirement.
Thank you, Patty.
Thanks. Congratulations.
Jerry Carl. Jerry began his tenure in Strongsville as a custodian in 1986. He has served the district in the maintenance department as well during that time, and currently is our utility truck driver within the district. Jerry is a familiar face as he travels building to building, delivering mail and transporting items throughout our district. He is always on time, he's always at work, even with the knee that was clearly bent the wrong way, and he always does whatever he's asked to do. His are big shoes to fill for us, and we thank you for your service, Jerry, and enjoy your well-deserved retirement.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Jerry. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations to all our retirees and those that weren't able to join us tonight as well. We wish you all the best. Congratulations on a well-deserved retirement. And Mr. Naso, if you don't mind, I'm going to just stay up here to make one more announcement. Certainly. That's okay? Yep. I would like to have Joe Guilfoyle come up to the podium. It is with great pleasure that I would like to announce our new varsity boys basketball coach, Mr. Joe Guilfoyle. Mr. Guilfoyle has had a long career in developing student athletes. He most recently taught and coached at North Royalton High School for 23 years. He served as the athletic director, boys basketball coach, assistant girls basketball coach, the boys tennis coach throughout his time in North Royalton. Among his coaching accolades, he has been recognized as the Division I Coach of the Year for the state of Ohio, a two-time Greater Cleveland Coach of the Year award winner, and selected as Coach of the Year in both Columbia and Richland counties. He led the North Royalton Bears boys basketball team to back-to-back conference championships, a Sweet 16 appearance, and a number two state ranking during his tenure. Joe, we're so excited to have you become part of our Mustang family and wish you the best of luck this coming season. And I think you want to say a few words, right? Okay.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all the board members and the administration for this great opportunity. Having coached against Strongsville, I know what a tough place this can be to compete against. I'm ecstatic to be working with the young people in Strongsville High School. We aim to restore and hopefully build upon the great tradition that you already have here. I can't tell you enough how excited I am to be here, and I'm looking forward to June 1st when we start our open gyms and begin our preparation. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Once again, congratulations to our retirees, and Coach, welcome aboard. And although we've shared it through a variety of channels, there will be a Meet the Coach meeting tomorrow night, 6 p.m., Strongsville High School. Andy, is there in the gym, or where are we at? In the Media Center. For anybody that's interested, we've sent out a personal invite to our middle school program or high school program. But anybody in the community that wants to come and see and meet and hear what Strongsville basketball is going to be like moving forward, tomorrow evening is your first opportunity. And Mr. Naso, I'm sorry, did you have something you?
No, I was going to bring up the same thing.
Okay.
Meet the coach now.
Great. Moving on, we do have one more recognition, but I know Scott in the booth wants to adjust a sound thing real quick. And we're going to do a recognition for Strongsville Middle School Cool School, which is going to be on the screen. So maybe if it's okay, if the board wants to take a seat down in the audience, they'll fix the sound issue. And then Mr. Dietrich and your team, if your team is coming up here or just you, get ready for your presentation. All right, thank you.
About how we were voted Fox 8 cool school. Volume really helps. So I know for years at Albion Center, we've tried to cast our votes and be that cool school. Well, once you triple the volume of our student population, it's sort of easy to do. I brought some members of the team with me here today. Now, Stacy Baker's here because her birthday was over the weekend. She thought she was being recognized for her birthday. So we thank you for coming out, Mrs. Baker. But here we have a few of our team leaders, and we have Mrs. Joanne Scott, we have Mrs. Stacy Baker, Mrs. Corinne Bongers, Mrs. Karen Schindler, and Mrs. Joanne Battle. Now, they are all members of our team leaders, and I know it was last minute for many of our team leaders, so a lot of them just couldn't make it for today with other commitments. I was going to hijack the meeting as long as I could, talk about all the great things at SMS, but I know we got tip-off sometime around 8:35, so we're going to keep this sort of brief. I do want to throw a couple facts up here on the board, and this is SMS by the numbers, and 44. This is one of the numbers we're most proud of here at SMS this year, and that's the percentage of students taking one or more honors courses. Just recently, the number 1, this was the rating of superior that our band, orchestra, and choir all received at the OMEA Large Group Contest in May, and that's the Ohio Music Education Association that was housed right here with over 31 schools. Strongsville Middle School has been a hub for lots of activities that have taken place, community activities, school activities through the course of this year, and members of our school community have embraced that sort of challenge, so to speak, by making sure we're able to supply all that is needed. Our custodial crew has been fantastic, headed by Paul Cummins, in order to accommodate all the groups that do come in, to help showcase what they have, and in turn we showcase our crown jewel of Strongsville Middle School here. 18, that's the number of clubs and organizations in which students may be involved. This number has climbed since the previous year, and they sort of say, if you build it, they will come. And we have a larger school and we have more students in here, and so they've been very, very proactive in seeking out advisors to head clubs, and I think that number has basically almost doubled over the course of last year to this year. 80, that's the number of cups of coffee served up each day by our students with disabilities. They've got a great business called the Daily Grind, and there's nothing better than when 7th period rolls around on Tuesday and Thursday and I'm just dragging, the coffee is worn off, as it is for other staff members, and we get that second dose of coffee and we get those smiling faces from students from the Daily Grind. It's fantastic. 600, and that's the hours put in by our media specialists to create our makerspace from scratch. We've had so many moving parts over the course of the last 18 months and probably beyond, from the groundbreaking and the decisions that were made before I was even a thought here in Strongsville City Schools. But we've had so many moving parts, and it's been fantastic. And I know that Joan has been a big part, along with Vicki Turner, of making our makerspace happen. And it's just amazing how we just started with tables and boxes to getting 3D printers and having all sorts of things that kids, and you'll catch a glimpse of it in the cool schools, that kids have the opportunity of participating in here at Strongsville Middle School. But the most important number, I know 44 I said was very important, but the most important number is 1450. And that's a number of staff and students here that help make SMS great. So with that, I'm going to roll the footage. If you didn't see it, maybe you did, maybe you want to watch it again. It's about a 2-minute clip from Fox 8 when we were the cool school.
From archery and jazz band to art
I love that. These are perfect. These glasses look so good, and your eyes are very realistic.
and robotics.
How would we make the ping pong then shoot out faster?
Strongsville Middle School is a Fox 8.
Really cool school.
The $45 million facility took 2 years to build and open its doors for the first time last fall. Both the students as well as the faculty couldn't be happier.
It's awesome. There's a lot of technology.
Ultimately, the faculty's top priority is still education, and it shows. The STEM program is highly successful. Not only are the students learning engineering, math, and science, they are able to incorporate it into their other subjects.
I'll give them a project, and they have to then come up with their own design through going through the engineering design process. And it's a fun class. It's very hands-on. Then they also can relate what we learn in here to their science and their math classes. And also we've even incorporated to their English and able to incorporate to their social studies classes.
Inclusion. Students with special needs are not left behind. When possible, they are included in many of the regular classes.
I was working for this of my beautiful face. It has the green shirt
For Mustangs.
for my Mustangs.
To further aid in their education, those same students run a business, complete with delivery, called The Daily Grind.
As you see, we're delivering coffee, so it kind of involves all that in one, where they have to fill out a timesheet, which teaches them their math skills because they add it up at the end of the week. We have social skills where they go and talk to all the teachers, and independent skills because they actually make all the coffee.
Physical education doesn't skip a beat either. Literally, each student actually wears a small monitor that transmits their heart rate to a screen.
The purpose of the heart rate monitors is so the kids can work out in their target heart rate zone. So when you're looking at the board, there's 3 different colors that the kids need to be in, which is green, orange, and red. So the kids that may not enjoy physical activity, it kind of pushes them a little bit more.
We believe that Strongsville Middle School is the crown jewel of Strongsville, and everybody wants to be a part of it.
Strongsville Middle School is a cool school.
So you may have seen the sign up there. We tell our students to truly make your mark among the stars, and we are boldly going where no one has gone before, as this is the first inaugural year for our middle school. And so our 6th graders have something special, and they will be the first class ever to go through their 3 years here at SMS. Now, we have lots of work to be done. This was our first year. We were working out a lot of kinks, and I can't wait for the second year, because we have a lot of things that we're going to change and implement to make SMS even better. So I want to thank our staff for coming in and being here today and coming to support SMS. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you to all of our middle school teachers for being here. And as the path of people is leading, this is the time where it's time to exit. So you're more than welcome to stay, but for those of you that were here for the recognition, please feel free to leave at this time. We'll take a short break and then get back to our agenda. Aaron, you want to come get set up?
Is that podium raised and lowered? No. That's another thing to put on your wish list.
That's okay.
It was tough for Smith.
Yeah, that's true.
Or for you.
Yeah. It's perfect for Jenny.
Yeah.
Oh, you might.
Yeah. This is more
Get
like
a little
it.
stool for the beach.
Now we're back in our
Now
own
we see
groove.
Now it feels like a board meeting.
Is this on air? I can't see it. Ian, if you could put the projector back on for us. Thank you.
That's lovely.
That's lovely.
We have ways of making you talk.
The high beams are on.
And Scott, I promise not to rest my foot on your equipment again.
There's no spots.
Carl, we were just saying it's your little lights.
Do I have to connect remotely?
What's that?
It's not full screen.
That's just funny.
Ian, that's not the screen on the laptop. You want to hit a source to see if it comes up with a different source? Please?
Please.
Oh, that's better.
Hey. You sure we need to see this, right? We're not going to see it anyway.
Right.
I feel like I'm in a tanning bed. Fine if not.
Okay.
Oh.
Eventually, her presentation.
Wasn't it just on that laptop? Ian, that's okay. You could shut off the projector. We'll just go without the slides for this one. Okay.
Does it have the remote on there?
That's okay. Just shut off the projector. We can do it without the slides. Thank you.
I see a blue dot like right here.
All right, well, what we're going to do, we've got, for my superintendent's report to the community, we have three discussion items. The first is our Director of Curriculum, Aaron Green, who has some information to share about one of our initiatives in our Strong Schools 2020 plan this year, which was the initiation of the Curriculum Advisory Committee. So, Aaron?
Sure, thank you. So as Cameron said, I just wanted to update you. As one of our 2020 goals, we had community engagement, and we continue to have community engagement as one of our goals. And 9D, if you remember, was to form this community curriculum advisory committee. And the purpose of this is to help make curricular decisions. Our own board member, Jane, was part of this committee, and I thank her for her work as well. So objectives and the purpose of the committee, again, serve as the entity between the community, the public, the parents, the staff, and our department to help make those curricular decisions. And we had three primary objectives this year. First one, we wanted to talk about a movie policy in the district. We didn't necessarily have anything that was hard and fast or on paper or consistent, so we created a movie policy, which I'll talk about in just a second. We wanted to develop process or procedures for 6th through 12th novels. Same thing. When I came, it was kind of just a conglomeration of who was reading what, and sometimes there was repetition between grade levels, and kids weren't always on the same page. So that was one other initiative we wanted to tackle. And lastly, we had two adoptions this year, one being the 6th through 12th language arts, the secondary adoption, and also the preschool curriculum adoption. So with that, early on in the fall, I sent an interest survey out to parents and got about 40 responses. I finagled those responses so that we had representatives from pre-K all the way through 12 with parents. We had representatives from every building, and we also represented gifted, parents of gifted students, parents of students with disabilities, parents of students that were English learners, and we tried to make sure that everyone was represented. We ended up selecting 12 committee members that were parents and another 8 staff members to create this committee. Throughout the year, we had 3 full meetings and 2 additional meetings. One of those we looked at the 6 through 12 language arts adoption, and the other one we looked at the preschool adoption. We were able to, for our first objective, develop procedures for the classroom movies. So it will now be in our staff handbook. Staff will know exactly what they can show and how they can show it and what parents need to be involved and when they need to sign off. Very well spelled out, laid out, so there shouldn't be any confusion. Very simply, it's movies in elementary need to be G. If they're PG, something needs to go home to have a parent sign off prior to them seeing it. Middle school, PG, same thing. If PG-13 is going to be shown, parents need to sign off. And then high school, PG-13, very, very rare instances, if there's something that's rated R that's a curriculum connection, that could be sent home with principal's approval as well to be shown. Making sure there was a strong curricular connection between the movies and what was happening in class, and making sure that we were following all the copyright policies. Second one, class novels. This was a fun one. We got together teachers from 6th grade through 12th grade, had them list out, stake claim, if you will, to their novels that they wanted to kind of dedicate for their grade level. And we talked about how we could change this over year to year. But what's nice is now we have a systematic list of each grade level and what the book options will be. Again, that'll prevent overlap from some kids in some classes reading a book in 8th grade and then going to 9th grade and having to read it again, or missing out on a book altogether. And that will be board approved at the July meeting. So you actually will have a list of all of the books. We have consistent text, 1 per grade level at least, where we know every student in 9th grade, whether they're in honors or regular, will be reading a title, this book. Those are denoted on the master sheet as well. And lastly, we did the curriculum feedback for the series, the 6 through 12 language arts. We ended up picking the Pearson series, which I am incredibly excited about. Everybody that's looked at it, parents, communities, PTA, same thing. They're very impressed with it. It's a consumable book, so students write in it. It's engaging, it's colorful, it has stories, some classic, but also very high interest stories, and it encompasses all skills for the English language arts. Lastly, our pre-K curriculum will be adopted tonight, and this is also very interesting and progressive. Instead of just purchasing a canned curriculum, it's called Big Ideas, and the staff are going to focus on 6 big ideas throughout the year, tailor them to the needs of the preschoolers that they have. So it's differentiation at its best. So 6 big themes, and the teachers will customize. So I'm really excited to see that in action as well. So my last step this year will be sending out a survey, kind of a follow-up to all the members of the committee, asking for feedback, what they want to do next year, seeing if the interest is still there on their end, and kind of devising from there what our goals will be for 2017, 2018.
Any questions from the board for Erin?
How were the parents selected?
I sent out surveys, so they were out in the newsletters, they were out in some of the district communications, and you filled out a Google survey. And then, like I said, from the list, we got about 40. I tried to strategically place, from each building. I had representatives, so it ended up I had one from kindergarten, first, second, all the way through high school. Again, selecting from all ranges, students with special needs, parents, students gifted, English language learners. Just wanted to make sure everybody had a voice and was represented.
Okay. I'm always concerned about curriculum where they try to rewrite history. It seems to be popular these days, and
Right.
it's highly offensive to certain members on this board. I would say all of them. And I just want to make sure that we have people who are going to look for that and make sure that we're not that we're making sure that we're not changing things up, right?
Right, and we just did the social studies adoption, as you remember, last year, so we
Right.
have at least another 5 years until that comes up again.
Okay.
But yes, there's quite a variety of members, and Jane as well, so you can talk in her ear too.
All right. Excellent. Okay. that's
Thanks.
all.
And Erin?
Yeah.
My assumption is your list of movies and novels is a living document, so.
It is.
As time goes on, maybe one of the charters for that committee will be to, on a yearly basis, review those.
Exactly.
See if anything better comes in, right?
Precisely, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. Next up, we have our communications coordinator, Dan Faust, with our Ohio School Boards Association business recognition. And you should have seen the slide he made. It was, you're just going to have to envision it. We'll send it to you. It was beautiful. But he'll do a great job without it.
We get some welder's goggles, you could put the screen back on.
We can sit down there and have a meeting. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. It's not, is it?
Good evening. Aaron has some nice slides here as well. The Ohio School Boards Association recognizes local businesses that support school districts throughout our state with an annual OSBA Business Honor Roll. This year, we thought it appropriate to nominate our corporate and community partners who were instrumental in making our Excellence in Athletics campaign such a success through sizable financial donations. I'm pleased to recognize the following as members of the 2017 OSBA Business Honor Roll for their generous support of Strongsville City Schools. Serpentini Chevrolet of Strongsville, the Pat Catan family, Progressive Poured Walls, Southwest General Hospital, Pro Sports Performance, Cleveland Football Club, Strongsville Chamber of Commerce, Triv's Restaurant, Strongsville City Club, Strongsville Rotary Foundation, Shoreline Express, Hammond Construction, the GPD Group, Strongsville Football League, Strongsville Youth Lacrosse, Strongsville Chick-fil-A, and the Mack Center. We thank all of our donors who were contributors to this successful campaign and appreciate the business and civic partnerships that we continue to cultivate for the benefit of our district. Thank you.
you. Dan?
Yes.
That's such an important list, and I feel bad that tonight, we're having a little issue with some of the things. I would suggest to George that when we do our financial update and we talk about the savings items and that, possibly a second screen could have those badges all from all those companies on there so we can show them each time, because they're such good partners, and I want everyone to recognize all the good that they do. So if we could incorporate that in, I think that would be something that we could work towards, because I want to make sure that they get the recognition that they deserve for all that they've done.
Thanks.
And I know you put a lot of time and effort into your slide.
That's right.
And I want to make sure that it's.
And all of the
Yep.
businesses that Dan just named, all received a certificate. And we'd like to thank Colonel Evans, who saw this recognition in a publication for OSBA and brought it to our attention. And we thought it was a great way to recognize our partners. So thank you, Colonel, for sharing that with us.
Great job, Colonel.
The last thing under discussion items for me tonight is the licensing fees for our athletic logo. As Richard shared a few months ago, as the policy update, we have a trademark logo now. The athletic logo that was developed is trademarked, and we adopted a policy a few months ago that states that if you are going to use our logo to sell items to make a profit, and you're not affiliated with the school, that you have to get permission. So we have received such a request from Sue Wallach, the owner of the Strongsville Spirit Shop, who is requesting use of that for apparel and novelty items to be sold at the Strongsville Spirit Shop. So the next thing that we have to do is, per the policy, now that we have the request, the board has to approve or vote on a licensing agreement, a royalty structure for that. So I'd like to thank Susan Harb, who just completed her superintendency internship, and she did some research for us on this. But really, as a board, there are three options. First of all, when you look at royalty or licensing fees, you could do a flat annual fee to say we're going to charge X amount of dollars for use of our logo. The second option is a percentage of sales made. So we would take a look at, there would be a tracking of all items that have our logos on it, the wholesale cost of those items, and the industry standard that we found is between 2% to 4%. So that would mean, in this case, the Spirit Shop would track all of their inventory that they sold, get a total wholesale cost. We would choose a percentage of, say, 3%, and they would have to pay us 3% at the end of the year on those items. And then the third option is a combination of that. You can say, we're going to charge you a flat fee to have access, and then after you pay that flat fee, that then you will pay a percentage of the sales that you make. What I've shared with the board is a draft license agreement. This has been, the framework of it has been developed by Pebble and Wagner for our use. And what I am suggesting or recommending to the board at this time is that we go with the option of a flat fee. In talking with Mr. Anagnostou, our treasurer, and looking at the management of licensing fees and looking at the percentage of sales and the fact that the Strongsville Spirit Shop has been a supporter of our district, we feel that the best way to manage this is through a flat fee. And as you can see under item 3 on the draft license agreement, I am recommending consideration of an annual contract for 1 year, and that the Strongsville Spirit Shop would have to pay $500 for use of that logo for a year, and that would be the fee assessed. The terms of the contract would go from June 15, 2017 to June 14, 2018. And should the Spirit Shop want to renew, we would look at whether that fee would be the same and what the terms and conditions would be at that time. So now I turn it over to the board for discussion or feedback. The goal would be to bring this back on June 1st for actual vote. This is just a discussion item at this time.
I'll make the first comment. We're in the business of educating our children, not trying to track which logo, which apparel, and it would be too much work. So I would agree with the flat fee.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's fine for the first year to try it that way. I'm thinking with our new logo, if the new merchandise is a big sell, we possibly could regain somewhat more, but it'd probably be minimal. And as you said, Sue has been a good supporter of the district, so I have no problem with going with the 500.
I'm okay with your recommendation. I would like to see maybe for the next, for the renewal, possibly some reporting on volume. Like what was the total logo items sold? It doesn't have to be, you know, some type of reporting that way.
Maybe a comparison between what we got and what we would have gotten given the volume.
Yeah, well, we could do that. Once we get the volume,
Yeah.
we could take a look. But no, she's been a good friend of the district for many, many years, and, you know, it's a good spot to sell our items, and we love to see them around town, so.
Yeah, I'm fine. When we discuss this in policy, et cetera, the purpose of the licensing agreement is as much to determine any income that the district would get, but I think more importantly, just to make sure that our logo is used appropriately, used on items that support our mission and that represent us well. And I have no doubt that Sue's going to do a great job with our logo, and it's more than reasonable.
I agree. I think this is the way to go. It makes it simpler on everyone's part, and she does only have quality merchandise there, and she has been a tireless supporter of our district, so I think this is a reasonable solution.
Well, thank you for the feedback. What I will do between now and June 1st is I will share the draft licensing agreement with Sue. That way, if she agrees to that, she could sign off on her part, and then June 1st would put it on the board agenda for your vote, and after that, then it would become official. So thank you for your feedback on that. And with that, that concludes my superintendent's report to the community.
Thank you, Cameron. That brings us to public comment. We do have one public comment. Thank you for being so patient this evening. If you want to step up to the podium and state your name, address, and then keep your comments to about 3 minutes, and that's it. It's a comment, not a discussion.
Good evening, Board of Education, administrators, and guests, or people who are here. I'm a substitute teacher for Strongsville for 2 years, and after the accolades, I certainly don't want to bring a downer to the situation or anything, but in January, I was called by, well, actually it was Christmas. I was told that because I wasn't subbing enough, my services were no longer needed. And I think I was very shabbily treated. I have an MBA, I'm a certified math teacher, business education. I substitute in Revere, Copley, Brunswick, Brooklyn schools, Parma schools, and I've seen the gamut from preschool all the way to high school. And I think my services were limited, and I'm not going to go into the details because I think I gave feedback as to how I felt the classes went, which were very positive because these kids in this district are awesome. So I enjoyed subbing for this district, but I think I was treated very shabbily, and I was restricted from teaching at the high school for some reason, but I did find that out. I'm not going to get into it right now in 3 minutes. And then I was forced to sub for Albion or the Center Middle School, and I did that. And again, I think there were some issues and things that I was never allowed to address. I was feedbacking my comments, but then other people were feedbacking that I never had access to. And I don't think that's right. And you know, and anybody who knows social studies or anything else, a person who's accused of something or people don't, you know, have a comment to make, then let me have a comment to actually see what that comment is and have a response to, not be treated very shabbily by a school system. And the board is quite aware of what happened when that strike happened and stuff like that. This is a great school system. I live in Brecksville. I know our teachers feel the same way. They're a very close-knit group of people. But I don't particularly like being treated shabbily, and I would like to talk to the board members in a personal session rather than do it anymore here. But that's the only reason I've come, and I'd like to talk to you on a personal level, because you know what? Substitutes are important to a district. They should be considered guest teachers. They should be considered very important people that come into this building and treated very well by the students, and especially the administrators. So again, I think the school system is outstanding, very outstanding, and just a little bit surprised at the way I got treated. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. You pass this down to George. Okay. That brings us to item 8, approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Duke. Have a second?
Second.
Thank you, George. That's for the April 6th and April 20th regular board meeting minutes. I assume we've all read them. Any comments? George, can you take roll?
Sure. Colonel Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Grozan?
Yes.
Mrs. Ludwig?
Yes.
Mr. Miko?
Yes.
Mr. Naso?
Yes.
Motion passes.
That brings us to the treasurer's report. George?
Thank you, Mr. Naso. A few items for your consideration tonight. The first one being item A, the financial report for the month ending April 30th, 2017, which can be found on Exhibit A. Item B, the 5-year forecast. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the treasurer that the 5-year forecast be approved. The forecast could be on Exhibit B, and it's no change since what was presented at the last board meeting. Item C, full-day kindergarten tuition. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the treasurer that the district set tuition for the 2017-2018 full-day kindergarten at $2,100 per student. Be it further recommended that the treasurer be charged with collecting tuition and preparing tuition contracts for parents to pay tuition in a lump sum or 2 annual payments. The treasurer may also grant parents a $50 reduction in tuition if paid in full prior to the beginning of the school year. Students qualified for free lunch will receive a $200 reduction, and students qualifying for reduced lunch will see a $100 reduction. The tuition payment is for the incremental cost of the district for having the additional half day of kindergarten, which will make it a full day. This year, due to the demand, we're going to be up 1 additional section, so we'll make it 7 sections for 175 students to the 150 students that we have this year in full-day kindergarten. Item D, grant approval. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the treasurer that the following grant be approved for fiscal year 17. This is for the high school science club, the PPG Classroom Innovation Grant for $1,000, and this will pay for materials and transportation for the science club to attend Cedar Point for an event to study
Physics.
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 Yeah.
Physics.
Very important.
Very important.
Item E goes along with the grant, the student activity program budget and purpose and goals revision. So this is revising the high school science club budget from $1,975 to $19,875. So $1,000 is the grant, and the remaining portion is additional fundraising they did for this trip that they collected fees to pay for the trip. So we're upping their budget to pay for the trip based on what was collected. And then F, the amended, going back to E, that can be found in Exhibit C. And then F, the amended appropriation measure can be found in Exhibit D. And for those that have received a paper copy of the agenda outside, this Agenda D was replaced. There was a replacement next to it for the board members. I believe you should have the replacement in your exhibits. So I just want to state that to reflect them on the minutes, and the changes to the appropriation measure can be found on the exhibit. So if there's no further questions, that concludes my report.
Thank you, George. That brings us to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Naso. We do have a few things, a few updates as we're closing in on the end of the school year for timely information. Again, these slides are glorious. We want to share them. They're just beautiful, Dan. Again.
We could move down to our seats.
Huh?
We could move down to our seats.
No, that's okay, that's okay.
It's okay, I can see it.
Yeah, George can see it. With that blue light, I don't think I could see anymore.
Oh, okay.
It burnt the cornea out of my eyes. So, a couple things. Obviously, it's an exciting time of year for our school district as we wrap up the school year, especially for our seniors. Tomorrow night, we had our scholarship awards, our senior awards last week, and the high school did a phenomenal job there. But tomorrow night's one of my favorite nights of the year. It's the top 5%, where our top 5% recognize the teacher, the educator, the staff member that's made the greatest impact on them throughout their schooling. That's tomorrow night, May 24th, 7 p.m. at the high school auditorium. Just a great event to celebrate our kids and celebrate our outstanding staff. Also this Friday, it's an exciting night for our seniors, but a stressful night for parents and all of our staff as it's prom. And we hope all of our kids have a safe and enjoyable prom experience. This year it's at a new venue. It's at Weymouth Country Club, so a little closer than downtown Cleveland. And I know I heard recently that cut the price of the tickets down significantly for our kids. And so Friday night they'll have prom, and then our great PTA council and PTA supporters will be there for after prom at the rec center from 11:30 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. Mr. Micko, are you dressing up at all this year?
You'll have to come to after prom.
And then finally, we cap it off next Sunday with the class of 2017 commencement ceremonies again at the Wolstein Center, Sunday, June 4th at 1 p.m. We've had a variety of music concerts at the high school this past prior week. This time we have a few. We have the All-City Orchestra. That will be this Thursday, 7 p.m. at the high school auditorium. And then next week, we have the middle school band and orchestra concert. It starts at 6 o'clock and then 7:30 p.m. But one of the things, the foundation, the Strongsville Education Foundation, approved a grant to actually commission a piece of music that was specifically written for the opening of our brand new middle school. Not only will it be performed for the first time on May 31st, but the composer will actually be in attendance and work with the students. And the other cool thing is we have a grandfather of one of our students that's composed a piece for our jazz band that will play. And then, do you remember Vardon Shaw? He was the young man that spoke at commencement.
Yes, yes.
He actually composed a piece that will be performed on Wednesday the 31st. So it's going to be an exciting night of music for our community and our kids.
Clarify those times, Cameron. What's it, twice? It's going to be done twice?
There is, no, the 7:30 p.m. is the concert. There's a 6 p.m. Dan, do you know what the 6 p.m. is for? 7:30 is the main event, but 6th and 7th, I'll clarify for the board, but it seems like the younger grades will start at 6. And then we have a middle school choir concert the day after on Thursday, June 1st, at the auditorium, and throughout this week we have all of our end-of-year elementary concerts. In terms of athletics, we're wrapping up a successful spring season. Our high school boys baseball team, they will be part of, weather permitting, they're participating in a regional semifinal game on Thursday, May 25th. It will be at Bowling Green, and if things go as we planned, they'll have another game on Friday. I believe it's at Worcester, but another playoff game there. And they've had they've advanced to the Sweet 16, so they've had a great postseason play, our baseball team. Awesome. And then track and field, I was talking to Mr. Reese here, Coach Reese, a little bit ago. We've got another good showing. They have a regional meet Wednesday the 24th, and then Friday the 26th. We've got 9 boys and 9 girls that will be competing at the regionals in the next couple days. And so that's what's going on in the next few weeks under timely information.
Excellent.
So Ken, when we're at Rotary on Friday and I go through this whole list, you're not allowed to give me a hard time about it.
I did go to the track and field awards banquet last night, and I was especially impressed by the number of scholar athletes that we had. There were 27 girls with GPAs over 3.4, I believe is the mark. And if you took the average, if you averaged all of the girls' the scholar athletes' GPAs, it was 4.1. So it's just incredible. And then on the boys' side, they didn't quite have 27, but they probably had at least 15 to 20. They had a good number as well of scholar athletes.
That's
Which
great.
is really impressive.
Yeah. So that ends timely information. Under business services, we have a couple items. The first is for your consideration to vote on separately, and that's student accident insurance. This is an annual recommendation that you accept the proposal of the Guarantee Trust Life Insurance Company through Love Insurance as the student insurance program for the 17-18 school year. Be it further resolved that the following be adopted, that all students participating in interscholastic or intramural activities shall either purchase the appropriate insurance coverage or present a waiver signed by the parent guardian. Such waiver shall release all in authority or in charge from any liability resulting in medical claims, and that can be found in Exhibit E.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Duke. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jane. Any discussion? George, can you take roll?
Colonel Evans?
Yes.
Mrs. Ludwig?
Yes.
Mr. Miko?
Yes.
Mr. Naso?
Yes.
Mr. Grozan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
We also have a series of gifts to recognize. Jared and Stephanie Anaya donated miscellaneous used toys, including cars, dolls, houses, and bicycles to the Early Learning Preschool. Mr. and Mrs. Dorkak donated a Lightgate Junior gate trainer to the Early Learning Preschool. And this is also always the board meeting where we recognize the PTA Council Awards for the grant awards for the 16-17 school year. And if memory serves, if you total this all up, I think it's $6,000 of grant money that has been generously donated through the hard work of Rockin' at the Rec Dances and other activities put on by the PTA Council. So Chapman Elementary School received a grant to purchase a Spalding basketball backboard hoop and U-turn lift system. They also received a grant to purchase a Science to Go Live animal assembly. Kinsner Elementary School received a grant to purchase a variety of playground equipment. Muraski Elementary School received a grant to purchase a Gaga ball pit, as well as a grant to purchase 3 workspace dividers. The preschool received a grant to purchase 2 cameras and 2 memory cards. High school received a grant to go towards the purchase of a Physio Step swivel seat for the sensory room. The middle school received a grant to purchase the Sphero robotic balls for the makerspace, and the middle school received a grant to purchase yearly subscription to WordPress.com. So once again, thank you to all of the folks that donate so generously to our district, and specifically our Strongsville PTA Council for their continued support. That concludes the business services report, unless there's questions.
Nope, I just want to
Moving
thank the PTA again for all their support and help. And, $6,000, that's a nice
Absolutely.
Nice job.
Coming back to Erin for her report for this month. Erin?
Thank you. Under curriculum, we have 7 items. The first one is the curriculum adoption that I referenced earlier. Exhibit F shows the adoption that we are recommending. Item 2 is family and consumer science textbook adoptions, and that will update our programming for family and consumer science. We'll also be recognizing Jamie Bollinger next month from Tri-C for their donation of these textbooks. Those can be found in Exhibit G. Then we have 4 student handbooks. Item 3 is the Early Learning Preschool Handbook. 4 is the elementary. Item 5 is the Middle School Planner Handbook. Item 6 is the high school. And the last item under curriculum is a student teacher placement. We have a student from, we're going to the middle school under 2 different teachers from August through December. And this is a student from Baldwin Wallace. Questions on those items?
None.
Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. We have no items under student services for this month. However, we made up for it in our human resource report. So Jenny, with the human resource report for this month.
Thank you, Mr. Ribe. I'll try to make this short and sweet. Under E1, I have the following items for your consideration this evening. We have 2 certificated retirements and 1 non-certificated retirement. Under E2, we have 1 non-certificated resignation. Under E3, we have the non-renewal of contracts for our certificated substitutes. E4, one appointment of a certificated staff, our hire for next year, Kyle Reinhardt as a .4 German teacher. Continuing under E4, appointments of certificated tutors and certificated substitutes, non-certificated substitutes. We also begin our summer school with the appointment of Steve Bruckner for Secondary Associate Coordinator. Continuing there, we have our elementary summer school teachers, secondary summer school teachers, and all-city summer school instrumental teacher, along with our certificated summer contracts for summer band and our non-certificated summer school clerk. Supplemental contracts for additional time for our certificated staff, and supplemental contracts for certificated staff for extended days. Continuing under E4, we have the appointments of our certificated supplemental contracts. Mr. Naso, I do need to make one change under this item. Joseph Guilfoyle should be considered under our non-certificated supplemental contracts and not our certificated, as he is not going to be a teacher in our district. So he's listed under certificated supplemental contracts. He should be listed under non-certificated supplemental contracts for the 2017-18 school year.
17.
So continuing under E4, the non-certificated supplemental contracts paid upon completion, we have one for 2016-17 with our assistant boys lacrosse coach, and then the rest are 17-18. Continuing certificated supplemental contracts, which are prorated, and non-certificated supplemental contracts prorated. Under E5, we have a change in hours for non-certificated bus driver. Under E6, we have recall from a reduction in force of a certificated staff member. Emily Love will be coming back to our district as a physical education teacher at Sarar. We have additional recall from reduction in force for non-certificated staff, and a return from leave for one of our custodians non-certificated. Under E7, we have stipends for our local professional development committee, and stipends for our summer curriculum development from both our general fund and from our Title IIA Improving Teacher Quality Fund for those certificated pupil service staff members, and also our certificated instructional personnel who will be doing work over the summer. We also have our stipend weight room supervisor for the fall of 2017. Under E8, we have our contract recommendations for our administrative staff. We have our 3-year contracts, followed by our 2-year contracts, and then we have our certificated continuing contract recommendations. Next, we have certificated limited contracts for 1-year limited contracts for the following staff members for the 2017-18 school year, followed by our 2-year limited contracts and our 3-year limited contracts. Next, contract recommendations for our leadership, 3-year contract recommendation, followed by 2-year contract recommendations, and then continuing contract recommendations for our non-certificated staff. Under E9, we have 1 unpaid medical leave for non-certificated staff and the following certificated medical leaves and non-certificated medical leaves. Under E10, we have more volunteer chaperones. And finally, under E11, we have a memorandum of understanding, be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent that the memorandum of understanding between the Strongsville Board of Education and the Strongsville Education Association, as stated in Exhibit H, for your reference there, be accepted. That has to do with our teacher evaluations and professional growth plans. And that concludes my report, unless there are any questions.
Anybody have any questions?
Ms. Pelka, I just wanted to confirm under number 10, all of those volunteer chaperones will follow our policy for fingerprinting and background checks, et cetera.
Correct.
Thank you.
The last item under my report is technology, and we have no items this month, so that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Oh, that brings us to reports on Polaris. Richard?
Thank you. Yesterday was our senior awards ceremony at Polaris. It was held at Grace Church. It is always an excellent celebration of everything that the seniors have accomplished. I did want to give a shout out and congratulations to Amber Pell and Taylor, forgive me for messing up the last name, Taylor Shaworkowski. Both Amber and Taylor were from the medical professions program at Polaris, and they were selected to give the student addresses. One of the things that's really nice about the senior awards is it's by the students and it's for the students. So 2 students are selected every year for the senior awards to address the students, and I was really impressed with Amber's. The entire speech rhymed, and it wasn't a sonata, it wasn't a couplet, it was the entire speech, and it rhymed. So she obviously put in a ton of work, and she should be very proud of the job she did, because we are proud of her also. But I wanted to congratulate everyone on that. It's always a great event to see what everybody at Polaris does, but I take particular pride and joy to see what our Strongsville students do. And in addition to that, I just wanted to remind everyone that Polaris's Camp Discovery is June 12th through the 16th. It's for students in 7th through 10th grade. There's various topics, everything from babysitting preparation to learning how to type to auto maintenance to different STEM, robotics, etc. So if any parents are looking for some great activities to send their kids to, it's $60 for the morning session or $60 for the afternoon session, or you can do both for $120. And if you do both, they include a lunch. So it's a great way to spend a week and have a lot of fun and, sneakily learn something at the same time. So if you go to polaris.edu, it's on the home page for information on that. And that concludes my report.
You want to move on to legislation?
I do. In the interest of keeping the meeting short, the same comments or the same
Too
report,
late.
at least keeping my comments short.
Oh.
We still are going through the budget process, so I remind everyone that as it stands right now, Strongsville will be harmed drastically if the budget continues and is approved as it is now. Our budget stands to lose over $4 million a year, and it is currently being discussed by the Ohio Senate. So I remind everyone that Senator Matt Dolan is our senator, and he can be reached at dolan@ohiosenate.gov. So again, I ask, I plead, I beg everyone to let Matt know how we feel, and he has responded to us already, but he's in an uphill battle. And my final comment is that there was a series of articles in the Plain Dealer this week about what it would look like if Northern Ohio became the 51st state. And it talked about how there's various different imbalances between what goes on in Columbus and how Cleveland and the Cleveland suburbs are treated. And when you look at how education is being funded by Columbus, I think there might be a point. But I don't see us seceding from Ohio anytime soon, so please just make sure to contact Matt and let him know how you feel.
Thank you, Richard. That brings us on to board liaison reports. City Council.
Thank you, Mr. Nasto. Okay, there were 2 city council meetings since our last meeting here, and a lot of it's routine, but they did celebrate the opening of the fire station, Ward 3. If you'd like to stop by, I'm sure the firefighters there would be happy to show you around the new renovations of the fire station. And you may have noticed they have started repainting all the lines in the city, so we'll have nice dark lines on our roads. They are going to be purchasing a few new police cars, and they're on a rotational basis, much like we are with our school buses. They realize that it's not a good practice to get behind the 8 ball and to continually replace and take care of all their fleets as well. And there is a Memorial Day parade that will be starting at noon. Is that correct, Mr. Dooner? Do you know? He's not sure. Is the Memorial Day parade starting at noon? I believe so. Okay. So, and the VFW, of course, is graciously participating in that, and it will end up on the Freedom Trail. And then there was a mention of Carl Seidel, who's a longtime member of our community. He was the owner of the barbershop, Ledgewood Barbershop. And but for those of you that remember Seidel's Fun Farm, his property was there. I remember going there as a Girl Scout to the Fun Farm. But he passed away, and he was 74. But what I find, he was always a strong supporter of our district, and memorial contributions are being asked to be given to the Strongsville Athletic Boosters. So I thought that was really nice that he would do that. So that ends my city council report.
Thank you, Jane. Carl Seidel was certainly a friend of the schools and a good friend of mine, and saddened by his passing. He's a good man, and he'll be missed. That brings us to let's see, Jane, you've got, want to do PTA?
Do you want to say anything about PTA, or do you want me to? They had their installation, so there's a new regime taking place. Carrie Dewis will be the president of PTA Council next year. And I also wanted to mention the fact that at Senior Salute, the PTAs combined awarded $10,000 worth of scholarships to our students. So not only did they give $6,000 worth of grants to our district, they provided $10,000 in scholarships. So they are a vital aspect and partner in our district with us. So that is it. And then if you just always next year remember to send your kids to Rockin' at the Rec to keep these opportunities open for us, though.
Yep. Just something to note that at that Senior Salute, there was $550,000 worth of scholarships awarded. Incredible number. I mean, it was amazing. It has to be a record. I mean, it's got to be a record. So that was amazing. Anything else on PTA?
Nope, that's it for PTA.
All right, student achievement?
Well, you know, I highlight all our academics every year, every month, and this month I wanted to highlight all the arts because a vital component. And as Mr. Ryba mentioned, all of the concerts and opportunities that you have to come and appreciate what our students accomplish. I attended the high school art show, and that was phenomenal too. So there's just so much talent, whether it's athletically, academically, or artistically. So good school year.
Excellent. Thank you, Jane. Excellent reports. Good job. Strongsville Education Foundation, Jockeys and Juleps was an incredible event. It's always the first Saturday in May, and it was a lot of fun. Maybe too much fun, but it was fun. And I think everyone there had a great time. I know I did. And my horse didn't win, though. My wife's did. My wife picked the winner, so I was impressed by that. But I don't think there was anything else. Do you have anything else from Education Foundation?
No, we met a few weeks ago, and now that Jockeys and Juleps is over, obviously they've committed to help support our field trips, as well as the Makerspace program. So now they've turned their attention to field trips. They are working to raise about $12,000, which is the estimated cost to provide the transportation services to get our preschool through 8th grade students that will have field trips next year do that. So we've been working with the president, Brian Jungerberg, to look at how we can promote those businesses that donate. And so he's moved on to his next project, and he has no doubt that we'll be all set to go for the fall of next year. And Aaron's been working with all of our teachers and principals, and those trips, the finishing touches are being put on those trips. And I think we're meeting with the transportation department in the next week or so. So we're on track for that initiative that they're supporting.
And the Strongsville Education Foundation, their two major fundraisers is the car, right, and Jockeys and Juleps. Am I missing something?
It's just Jockeys and Juleps. The car with the Excellence in Athletics have gone towards the Excellence in Athletics. Yeah. So their major fundraiser is they do an annual appeal, which is a major fundraiser for them. But Jockeys and Juleps is provides the majority of the funding for the work that they do.
Excellent. Okay, I think that finishes all of our liaison reports. Board committee reports, we did not have a finance committee meeting. Policy?
Our next meeting is May 31st at 6:30 PM in the admin building, and we're all extremely excited.
Big doings. Facilities?
Our next facilities meeting is this Thursday at Sarara Elementary at 6:30. So this Thursday, and public is welcome.
Excellent. That brings us to the consent calendar, where all items with an asterisk are approved in a single vote. We do have one modification in section 10E4. Guilfoyle is moved to non-certified. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you, George. Nice second, Duke. Any discussion? George, can you take roll?
Sure. Mr. Grozan?
Yes.
Colonel Evans?
Yes.
Mrs. Ludwig?
Yes.
Mr. Miko?
Yes.
Mr. Naso?
Yes.
Motion passes.
That brings us to item 16. Resolution to approve an agreement for employment for Cameron Ryba, Superintendent for Strongsville City Schools. I'm very proud of these next two items. Be it resolved that the Strongsville City School Board of Education approves an agreement for the employment of Cameron Ryba as Superintendent of Strongsville City Schools District for the period of August 1st, 2018 through July 31st, 2023. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Duke. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jane. Any discussion? I will state that this is a 5-year contract. It's extremely important that we have stable leadership in our district. We've got the greatest superintendent, and the entire state and country wants him, and we're keeping him. So thank you for being part of our team. Thank you for your leadership. Thank
No
you for
pressure.
your commitment. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the community involvement and all the things you do. Any further discussion? Can I have a vote?
Colonel Evans?
Yes.
Mrs. Ludwig?
Yes.
Mr. Miko?
Yes.
Mr. Naso?
Yes.
Mr. Grozan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you.
I'm equally proud of item B, resolution to approve an agreement for the employment of George Agignastu as the treasurer of Strongsville City Schools. Be it resolved that Strongsville City School Board of Education approves an agreement for the employment of George K. Agignastu as treasurer of Strongsville City School District for the period of August 1st, 2018 through July 31st, 2023. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Good, George.
George is the first.
I'll second it.
Duke will second it. I'll say again, this is a 5-year contract. Stable leadership in this district is critical, especially with the issues that we're facing as we move forward. As Richard had mentioned, some of the funding cuts. I have worked, I'm a CPA, I've worked with a lot of financial guys in my time, and I've never worked with a better one. I've never worked with a more dedicated, sharper, harder working, analytical, does his homework. I've never worked with a better guy in 35 years of financial service. So I'm really thrilled to have you on this team, George. Your contributions are immeasurable. So on the savings side, you pay for yourself tenfold, fivefold at least every year. So it's really, really incredible. Any other comments?
No pressure, George.
No pressure,
No
George.
pressure.
It's
I
all
was
on
just
you,
going to
brother.
say that even if we can't pronounce your last name very well, we do like you. So you can stick around for another 5 years.
Took me 3 years to get that. Agignastu. I think I got it.
Anagnostu.
I'll defer to the other Greek member on the board here.
Agignastu.
Agignastu. Agignastu. I got it.
Okay.
Either way, he's here.
Thank you.
Can we have a vote?
Mr. Grozan?
Yes.
Colonel Evans?
Yes.
Mrs. Ludwig?
Yes.
Mr. Miko?
Yes.
Mr. Naso?
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to continuing.
Excellent. Meeting notification.
Wait, hang on a second. I got another other. It says Board of Education other. Is it right?
We're not there yet.
No, this
Oh,
was,
we are.
this was other.
Oh, this was other. Oh, you got another other.
I do. Two things. I just noticed, well, I didn't just notice, but we have prom coming up this weekend. And everybody probably knows there was a tragedy. I think it was in Midview.
Correct.
So it behooves, and I know from when my kids went to prom and everything, it's an exciting time for everybody. Some of the kids tend to get a little overwrought and a little over anxious and do things they shouldn't do. Please, as parents, sit down with them before they have this thing, and they will, of course, oh, you know, I don't want to hear it, Dad, or I don't want to hear it, Mom, but still say it to them about drinking and driving, no illegal drugs, those kinds of things. Don't do things you'd regret that'll affect the rest of your life, just for one night's happiness or one night's goofing off with your friends. The second thing I'd like to mention is, of course, Memorial Day is Monday. You'll be seeing, if you haven't already, a lot of veterans out with the poppy drives that are at all the local establishments, Walmart, the Giant Eagles. Please support that if you can. It means a lot. 100% of the money, I know for the VFW, 100% of the money that's collected goes to help veterans in need. There's no overhead. So it would be really appreciated, and take a moment this weekend to think about the people that sacrificed everything so that we have our freedom.
And I'll say it. Colonel, thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome. My privilege.
Thank you. Any others? All right. A meeting notification. We have a meeting on June 1st, 7 o'clock, back at the administration building. And then we have another one that's kind of out of the time. It's not in the normal time. It is June 29th, back at the board building. So the June meeting's always set back a little bit. Home days, is that what does it? All right, we have no need for executive session. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Duke. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jane. Any discussion? 5-year George, take roll.
Colonel Evans?
Yes.
Mrs. Ludwig?
Yes.
Yep.
Mr. Miko?
Yes.
Mr. Mesa?
Yes.
Mr. Grozan?
Yes. Sorry.
Meeting adjourned at 8:44.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry.